World history could have been very different. History is shaped not only by the events that happened, but by the ones that almost did. Across time, civilization has come terrifyingly close to completely different timelines. Wars that nearly began, empires that almost survived, discoveries that could have changed humanity forever. In some cases, the fate of millions came down to a single decision, a storm, or even one man. These are the greatest historical events that never happened. To understand how fragile history really is, we begin with one of the most famous disasters in modern history, a single moment that changed maritime history forever. The Titanic. But what if it never happened? At number 10, a single voyage that reshaped maritime safety forever. On April 14, 1912, the Titanic struck an iceberg in the North Atlantic. Within hours, the largest passenger ship of its time would sink beneath the freezing sea. Over 1,500 lives were lost. Maritime history was changed forever. But what if it wasn't? What if the Titanic had missed the iceberg entirely? No collision, no sinking, no global shock, no maritime reforms. The iceberg passes, and history continues as if nothing ever happened. At number 9, history nearly changed in a single moment. Throughout modern history, assassination attempts have come, within seconds, altering entire nations. Adolf Hitler survived multiple assassination attempts during World War II. Franklin D. Roosevelt was targeted before he ever took office, and Archduke Franz Ferdinand, whose assassination did succeed, helped trigger World War I. Now imagine if just one of these moments had gone differently. Wars unfold differently. Governments collapse sooner. Entire world powers shift. A misfire. A delay. A single second. And everything changes. At number 8, we move into something even more unsettling. A plan that was never carried out, but was seriously considered at the highest levels of the United States military. Operation Northwoods was a U.S. military proposal during the Cold War. It proposed false flag attacks inside the United States and blaming them on Cuba. These scenarios included fabricated hijackings, staged attacks, and engineered crises designed to justify military action. It was never approved. It was rejected by the U.S. government. But its existence shows how close history comes to paths it never takes. If approved, the Cold War could have escalated far beyond what actually occurred. A single decision separated reality from something far more dangerous. At number 7, we move from moments of crisis to the fate of entire civilizations. The Roman Empire shaped law, architecture, language, and governance across much of the ancient world. For centuries, it stood as one of the most powerful civilizations in history. But in the 5th century, the Western Roman Empire collapsed. Political instability, economic strain, and repeated invasions brought it down. But what if it didn't? What if the Roman Empire never fell? No split, no power vacuum, no rise of competing medieval kingdoms. Instead, a single continuous civilization stretching across Europe. Law, infrastructure, and centralized power, never broken, only expanded. The medieval period as we know it may never have occurred. A unified empire shaping the course of history for centuries longer, instead of fragmented kingdoms. A single system guiding global development. At number 6, we turn to one of the most powerful empires in medieval history. In the 13th century, Mongol armies pushed farther into Europe than almost any Eastern force in history. Cities fell. Kingdoms collapsed. Entire regions were reshaped in a matter of years. But then, everything changed. In 1241, after the death of Great Khan Ogedei, the Mongol expansion suddenly halted. Their forces withdrew from Europe. Historians believe that if this succession had not occurred, Europe may have faced a far more complete invasion. A single moment of leadership change may have altered the entire course of medieval history and reshaped Europe forever. At number 5, we move from wars and empires to something far more fragile. Knowledge itself. The Library of Alexandria was one of the greatest centers of learning in the ancient world. Its halls contained some of the greatest knowledge humanity had ever gathered. Much of it is now lost forever. Over centuries, fire and conflict gradually erased the library from history, but imagine if it had survived. If every scroll, manuscript, and discovery had been preserved and passed forward through time. Some historians believe its survival could have accelerated human progress by centuries. Ideas lost to history may have changed the world entirely. Instead, its knowledge disappeared into the ashes of history, and with it, countless ideas humanity may never recover. At number 4, we move away from specific historical events and into something far more unusual, a pattern found across civilizations that never directly connected. Civilizations separated by oceans and continents, telling strikingly similar stories about a great flood, destruction, and humanity surviving through a chosen few. From ancient Mesopotamia to civilizations in the Americas to cultures across Asia and Europe, similar flood myths appear again and again across the ancient world. These stories emerged across vast distances and thousands of years, yet the central idea remains remarkably consistent. Fragments of the same ancient memory, surviving across civilizations. But the similarities across distant civilizations raise a deeper question. Coincidence, shared memory, or something else entirely? At number 3, we move to a discovery that may have changed our understanding of early human history forever. In southeastern Turkey, archaeologists uncovered massive stone pillars arranged in enormous circular formations, carved and positioned with surprising precision. At first glance, it looks like the remains of an advanced ancient civilization, but there's one problem. Gobekli Tepe is believed to be over 11,000 years old, predating cities, agriculture, and settled civilization itself. Sites like this were never supposed to exist this early. Yet the site contains massive symbolic construction from a time once believed to be purely primitive, a discovery that suggests entire chapters of early human history may still be missing. If people were capable of building structures like this thousands of years before civilization was supposed to begin, what else may have been lost to history? At number 2, we move beyond forgotten structures and toward a far more unsettling possibility. What if human history stretches far deeper into the past than we realize? Before Egypt, before Sumer, perhaps even before the last ice age ended. Across the world, submerged ruins, global flood stories, and unexplained discoveries continue to raise the same question. How much of early human history may have been lost? If ancient coastal civilizations once existed, much of the evidence may already be gone, swallowed by rising seas, buried beneath geological change, and erased by thousands of years of time itself. That would mean civilization is not a complete story, but the surviving fragments of a far deeper human past. And if that's true, then the timeline of civilization may be far older and far more complicated than we ever imagined. And that raises an unsettling possibility. How much of the past have we already lost? At number 1, we reach the moment the world stood on the edge of nuclear war. October 1962. The United States and the Soviet Union faced off after Soviet missiles were discovered in Cuba. For 13 days, the world entered a level of tension unlike anything in modern history. Nuclear weapons stood ready. Military forces prepared for conflict. And with every passing hour, the possibility of catastrophe grew closer. At multiple moments during the crisis, humanity came terrifyingly close to crossing the point of no return. Deep beneath the ocean, a Soviet submarine prepared to launch a nuclear torpedo. The crew had become convinced war had already begun. One officer refused to authorize the strike, and the world stepped back from the edge. The missiles were withdrawn. The war never came, but humanity has rarely stood closer to its own extinction. And maybe that's the real takeaway from all of this. History is shaped not only by what we know happened, but also by everything that almost did. From failed decisions, to vanished knowledge, to entire civilizations lost to time. The past is far less complete than we often imagine. The further we look back, the more uncertain the picture becomes. And the more we realize how much may still be missing. Perhaps history is not a straight line of progress, but a fragmented record, with pieces still buried beneath time, and the story we know today may only be part of what came before.